Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. I got two topics to share with you in this very latest Moon Lambo hot jam, including this one from CNBC. Crypto firm Ripple will explore IPO after SEC lawsuit ends, CEO says. Now, there's been plenty of speculation about this for a couple years at this point, and Brad Garlinghouse, he hasn't been completely coy about it. He's been saying for years, literally, that it's just a matter of time. Like before the lawsuit occurred, in fact, before Coinbase went public, I remember him saying, "Hey, we're not going to be, the very first, a blockchain related company to go public, but we're not going to be the last either." So, upon hearing that, kind of like, yeah, so you're going public then. If it's not one or the other, it's something in between, which means it's happening, right? Pretty darn clear. Well, he expanded upon that a little bit further, so I want to share with you his latest comments. This is a brand new article from today. And then there was this from ProCoin News. Ripple's XRP ledger now close to having native NFT functionality. So this is something that I've been looking forward to for some time. Not that I'm particularly into the NFT world, but for long-term viability of the XRP ledger. Because look, NFTs, my stance, I'm pretty firm on this at this point anyway, NFTs aren't going away, and it doesn't just mean JPEGs, okay? It's a whole new way to do a number of things, including provide royalties to content creators, whether it's music or bloggers or whatever it may be. They get royalties. There's all sorts of things that you can do with it. And the XRP ledger on layer one, although you can technically mint assets. There's the built-in decentralized exchange. Yes, you can do that, but it didn't have a bunch of functionality that would make it perfectly suited for the world of NFTs. But that change is coming. So if that happens, it's just one more thing that could help to cement the XRP ledger's long-term viability, which would also cement XRP's long-term viability because it's in play and used as a result. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. And by the way, as far as this Ripple IPO is concerned, one big question on people's minds is, what will this do for the price of XRP? Well, since I've been here since November of 2017, let me add a little perspective. The whole time I've been here, XRP has, I literally can't think of one example where XRP price has responded to Ripple's news. It's like, pick your good Ripple news. I haven't seen XRP just start pumping because of that ever in the history. So, the closest you can get to, frankly, is when the SEC claimed that Ripple selling XRP, that was illegal, that was an unregistered security of Ripple. But even then, that's not something Ripple did. That's something the SEC claimed. That's different than something Ripple did. The SEC did it, which caused the price of XRP to drop. They made that big claim. Other than that, I saw, the closest I could get to is I saw speculation of XRP rising, 3-4 weeks, whatever it was, before Ripple's launch of on-demand liquidity in, I guess it was 2018. Back then it was known as XRapid, but there's a rumor that it was going to be, and then I did see the price going up, so either that's a coincidence or I don't know, but the rumor did end up being true, but that's the closest I can get to it. But even that wasn't news from Ripple. So upon news that this is actually going to happen, is the price just going to spike? Don't hold your breath. If history is to repeat itself, the answer is no. If could we get for the first time something where okay, but I'm just saying XRP is not really connected to the business happenings of Ripple historically. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, into this piece though. Ripple will explore the possibility of an initial public offering once its lawsuit with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has ended, CEO Brad Garlinghouse told CNBC. The company uses XRP, the world's sixth largest cryptocurrency, to facilitate cross-border payments. Effectively, fiat is converted to XRP, which lowers the cost and increases the speed of the transaction. The XRP is then converted back to fiat. But the SEC alleges Ripple, Garlinghouse, and executive chairman Chris Larsen engaged in an illegal securities offering through sales of XRP. Ripple has argued that the digital coin should not be treated as a security, a designation that would bring it under much stricter regulatory scrutiny. Now, the lawsuit has been going on for nearly 15 months, and Ripple expects it to end this year. After that, the company will look into a public listing. And so here's the money quote from Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse. I think we want to get certainty and clarity in the United States with the US SEC. You know, I'm hopeful that the SEC will not slow that process down any more than they already have. End quote. And he said that at the World Economic Forum in Davos. That's what he told CNBC specifically. And here's another quote from him. But you know, we certainly are at a point in scale where that is a possibility. And we'll look at that once we're past this lawsuit with the SEC, end quote. So look, I speculate that had the SEC not gone after Ripple, that they'd either be a public company by now or well on their way, and it would have already been publicly announced. That would be my guess. Because if you look at when they were saying they were when Brad first hinted, okay, look, we're going to be doing this. That was years ago. Like it would have. What's it been, like 2.5 years at this point? I given the size where they are right now, like he just stated here, actually, I'd kind of be surprised if that wouldn't have been the case if not for the SEC. Anyway, piece continues. Garlinghouse's comments come amid a cryptocurrency price crash that has wiped billions of dollars of value off the market. XRP is down 42% in the last 30 days, according to CoinGecko. Crypto-related stocks have also been hammered. Coinbase shares are down 75% this year, while Robinhood, which offers digital currency trading, has seen its stock drop nearly 50%. Yeah. Well, look, I was paused to note. It's basically what I've been saying. Like, the world's falling apart right now. It won't forever. Don't be that fearful. I get there's real world concerns out there. Fine, I'm not denying that. But in terms of asset prices, yes, plummeting. There's concern in all sorts of markets, even housing now you're seeing. And crypto is just following in line with that. Doesn't mean there's something wrong with crypto. So I still don't. I personally am not worried about that in terms of long-term viability. But piece continues. Despite that, Garlinghouse said the business continues to grow. He said that in the first quarter of the year, volume for its cross-border payments product that uses XRP, known as on-demand liquidity, totaled $8 billion versus $1 billion in the same period last year. Folks, think about that. So Ripple gets sued, and then just over 1 year later, they go from $1 billion to $8 billion in the same period, just year over year. That's astonishing. And why? Why is that happening? Because XRP solves a real problem for real people, which means it's not going away. As long as it's useful, people will recognize that. It will cause people to speculate on it. And again, I know that XRP, like I said, it's not tied to what Ripple's doing. This is an immature market. At some point, I think the real world happenings surrounding each crypto ecosystem, not just XRP, it's going to be more tied together. So in terms of like a long-term view, all of this matters. I'm just saying in the short term, it sure as hell doesn't. Here's a final quote from Garlinghouse. Our growth is almost all outside the United States. I think that'll probably persist until we get the clarity and certainty in the United States we've been seeking. End quote. All right, into the next piece now. Ripple from ProCoin News. Ripple's XRP ledger now close to having native NFT functionality. Ripple just announced on its blog today that it has upgraded its servers to version 1.9.1 of the XRP ledger protocol, which will bring a massive update to the blockchain. Validators on the Ripple network essentially vote in favor of the XLS20 standard, and it is this new standard that would bring NFT functionality to Ripple. Of course, there is a lot of work behind the scenes to ensure that the votes are valid before the network decides to move forward, which has been very likely. The team has already done extensive testing to ensure that the NFT functionality is operating as expected, and the release of the code will finally allow for the minting, burning, and transfer of NFTs on the XRP ledger. Exactly. So this is the type of functionality that was not available before. Yes, you can issue assets on the XRP ledger from day one, but not all the functionality that you necessarily want on a layer 1 blockchain was available. And if this gets voted on, 80% plus approval from the validators, you're actually finally going to have that. And so you can see here's a tweet from David Schwartz, who of course is Ripple's CTO, co-creator of the XRP ledger, and he noted that Ripple's servers and its Ripple and Ripple X, they're upgrading servers and configuring its validators to vote in favor of enabling XLS20, which will bring native NFT functionality to the XRP ledger if passed. So I thought I'd highlight a little bit about that. And when it comes to the tech stuff, I don't pretend to be some sort of guru on the tech side. I don't code or anything like that. I don't program. But I wanted to share with you a little bit of this because we can still all, even for the vast majority of us that are not programmers, you can still wrap your head around the concept of some of what's going on here. And so I do have something on your screen. If you are in a place where you can look at it, it might be worth it to help you to wrap your head around it. But there is an actual XRP ledger validator on Twitter named RippleItIn.nz who shared this image here and wrote the following on Twitter. Every validator runs a unique node list, or UNL for short, of servers it trusts, which may not be the same as others. The servers that make it to the master unique node list for consensus are the greatest overlapped functioning ones. Simple example, which is what's on your screen, by the way. 4 different unique node lists. The master unique node list is made up of the common validators. So I'll pause to make sure that we're on the same page here. You can see that there's a column on the left, so that would be basically the master list. And then the next column, so the second from the left, the second column, which is labeled Validator 1 UNL, which is, again, unique node list. That's one validator. Then there's Validator 2, Validator 3, Validator 4. And all of these gibberish-looking lines, these under this, these are what's trusted. So the ones that are in red, that's where there's trust. See, that's where there's overlap in the list. That's why it's titled UNL overlap on list. So there are, as RippleItIn.nz cited here, each validator does set up its own unique node list. You're not, see, that's the thing. When the XRP ledger, and this is by design, you're not forced to trust everyone. So, because imagine this, there's X number of validators in existence, whatever, it's 100 and something. Well, what if somebody was nefarious and they wanted to come in and destroy the XRP ledger? Could they just spin up like 1,000 validators, then they're more powerful? Well, that would destroy a decentralized ecosystem, wouldn't it? If you could just come in and you've got more validators and now you just win, that wouldn't really work. So the way it works is the validators that are participating today, even if you do that, you can't force them to listen to the 1,000 validators that you just spun up and started. You can't force them to. So it's an ecosystem that's built on trust. So it takes a long time and it's hard to build trust, and it's very easy to lose it. If you start acting in a nefarious way, you lose the trust. And so all these validators, they decide who to listen to. And in order for forward progress to occur, there has to be sufficient overlap. And so there are people that don't understand blockchain, like, oh, so I can come in and then my vote doesn't matter? Well, that's not decentralized. I'm like, no, you don't understand the nature of a decentralized system then. Because what you're describing, if you think that's centralization, you're wrong. What you're describing is anarchy. If anybody can come in at any point and decree anything, and then that's just what happens, that's anarchy, not decentralization. And so people seem to not understand that. But this is just the nature of how this works. And so voting is a similar process. So it's not just the transaction. So yes, this is how it works. The nodes, they all process the transaction, then the validators, they come to an agreement on what order they came in, which is inconsequential, by the way. It doesn't really matter what order it is. We just need them to agree so that there can be forward progress. So if once you have 80% of the validators agreeing this is the order that it came in on, even if another 20% don't agree, it doesn't matter. That's enough to say, okay, that seems like enough. At least we can just decide with finality what the forward path is. And then the people are like, well, but I thought that my order came in sooner, and which, from their perspective may have, but there's different lag time. These validators are all over the planet. It doesn't matter because then it just get processed on the next block. It doesn't matter the order, 3 to 5 seconds later, oh, woe was me. So good participants aren't going to care. Even if the way that they see the order coming in is different than what gets approved with finality. If you're a good participant, you're not going to care that happens because it's inconsequential of the order that the transactions come in. As long as they get processed, that's what actually matters here. And so similarly, when it comes to voting, you can't spin up a bunch of validators and force people to listen to you. It's just the case that you need the 80% approval, and that's how it works in a nutshell here. I just found it interesting. So I hope that this gets approved. We'll continue to monitor this. There has to be an 80% approval sustained for 2 weeks in order for it to pass. So I won't know for a little bit, and not everybody's voted yes at this point, but I'll be sure to discuss it on the channel when there is such news, but I'll wrap up here. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.